tuned into Breaking the Mask of Depression with your host, Diva with Depression.
Hey everybody, welcome to Breaking the Mask of Depression with me, the Diva with Depression. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope that you are staying safe and warm and cozy wherever you are at. Thank you for joining me today. I'm live from the bedroom again, y'all. You know how it goes, but I'm determined to try to push through and get some consistency going. I have been testing out. I want you to know, you know, bouncing around. I'm really trying to see the best days that, to release my podcast. What days do you guys listen? If you want to shoot me an email or talk to me on any of my socials, let me know. What day do you listen to the show? What time do you listen to the show? If you like the show, all of those fun things. Let me know what you think. I don't just do this for me, I do it for everyone. And I'd like to make sure that as many people as possible are hearing my voice so that we can break the stigma and start healing some people. So um, let me know, okay? Today, in keeping with Women's History Month, and as a matter of fact, happy Women's Month to all of my ladies out there. Um, in keeping with Women's Month, last week I did PCOS, and so this week I decided to continue with the fun stuff, and we're going to talk about dum 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 menopause. So, buckle up. Again, like I said, fellas, if you want to hang out and listen, it's always a good thing to learn. You are husbands, you are fathers, you are grandpas, you are friends, so it's nothing that is taboo, and it's always a good thing to learn a new thing. So, hang out, y'all, and listen. So, today I want to discuss what came first. Is it the depression or is it the menopause? And of course, with me, depression came first, and menopause came later, intensely. And I, of course, have family members and friends, and some of us have all gone through the journey together, and it's not always a fun ride. So, depression is actually connected to, like I said, PCOS and to menopause. And the surface is that, it just makes you uncomfortable, and it makes you sad that, you're having hot flashes, or your body's not the same, or different things that happen. So, on the surface, of course, those things make you feel sad. They make you, you know, angry sometimes, embarrassed sometimes, and those can lead to, your mental health changing. I don't want to say declining, because, that's the end of the world type of thing, but it will change, when you start to go through the change. And so typically menopause starts with women between the ages of 45 to 55. Now you have premenopause. Now with premenopause, it's just the time period, right before you start, before you start menopause, and you're still getting your period and there's no real symptoms. You may have a flash here and there, but you're not in full blown menopause. So around 45 years old, here we go. You know, Women think that, we love to think that, and we love to embrace the fact that when we get to 40, we're starting to really start coming into ourselves and becoming better selves. And it sucks that we hit 40 and this is what we have to go through. Like, it's just a never ending shit show with being a woman. So 45 is usually the starting age. And they have different stages. They have premenopause, they have perimenopause, and, all of those different stages. But really, it's just perimenopause. Perimenopause is actually the name for what we just call straight menopause. And menopause, here's your Google fact, y'all, is really it's just a change in the body, um, you know, symptoms of hormonal changes, and it can last, you know, 4 years and lead into the 12-year period, until you hit 55 or beyond in some cases. But, the journey usually is about 10 to 15 years for most people. And as I said, um, technically perimenopause is means that it's around the time of menopause starting to arrive, and your hormones can change, but you still can become pregnant, and it could last like 4 years. Ain't that fucked up? That, like, what do you have to look forward to? I'm sorry, I'm always, always, always the bad person, but you know, this is what we have to look forward to. And so I'm going to tell you my story as usual. My joy started early. Um, I started having, going into menopause, early menopause. I want to say after I had my baby, my second baby. So that's around 31 years old. And then the hot flashes started, and the extreme fatigue started. I always thought, well, like I always tell you guys, with depression and some of the physical issues that I have, I always attribute everything to that. So, when I started getting the extreme fatigue and, you know, changes in my period and the cycle and all sorts of stuff, I said, okay, well, I just had a baby. I definitely am in the postpartum depression stage, and my body is just reacting. It has, there's 7 years between my babies, and so my body's just not, it wasn't ready yet, or some kind of crap like that. Everything to think that, God damn it, I cannot be going through menopause at 31 years old. But sure enough, I around 31, it started, and it was absolutely awful. Um, I always, I want to say I always had a problem, but I was always one to sweat. Um, you know, at any time, especially when I'm nervous or uncomfortable. Like, I really, really start to sweat, and then I start sweating, and then I get embarrassed, and then you know, it it, it just a little cycle starts. But so the sweating thing started to increase, and then that's when I started to notice that the flashes started coming on, and I'm like, why am I, what the hell is going on? So of course, I always, because of the sweating, I always carry a towel or a washcloth, a dry washcloth. Now I got to carry a fan everywhere. And, like, really, I don't know if the pocketbook is big enough to have have a fan everywhere. But I did. I had to start because for every one of you that is going through it, you know what I mean. When those suckers come on, it's like you walked into an oven, and you're just standing there in the middle of the oven. There's no breeze. There's no nothing. You're just standing there on fire. And so, when those things happen, you're not always home. So if you're home, you can start ripping shit off. But if you're in public, that's not possible. So you have to carry a fan everywhere. And I did. I started carrying a fan everywhere I went. I went because I, I was either hot or sweating or something more embarrassing. So it was really, really, really an adjustment. And then, of course, night sweats started. And, That's hell too. It's like you go to sleep and you're under the covers and you're cozy, and then all of a sudden something hits and you gotta stick a foot out to get some air or turn the fan on. And listen, I have a fan on 24/7. I will turn off the air conditioner and use my fan because it's more direct, you know. But yeah, the night, and then you wake up and your pillow is drenched, your clothes are drenched, and it's just crazy. Um, so those are some signs, the physical signs, the hot flashes, the loss of libido. If you have a partner, that can affect you. Also with the night sweats and the hot flashes, if do have someone sleeping with you, y'all need to get separate blankets, if possible. Maybe start out cuddling under the sheet, but listen, we got to go to separate blankets afterwards because when it's time to rip that shit off, it's time to rip that blanket and just throw it somewhere. So, I don't want you guys to lose your relationships over hot flashes and night sweats, but that is one. Those are two of the well-known and major symptoms of menopause. It's not all of it. And so, premature menopause affects 1% of women. 1% of women. And when I say premature menopause, I mean like what I said. I started at 31. I always seem to be the test dummy for shit. Like I guess, the God and the ancestors want me to be the test dummy and go through shit for you guys. So um, that's what premature menopause is. And, I think that you should really start paying attention to yourself. I mean, of course, pay attention all along, but around 30, if you notice some of these changes, definitely mention them, when you go for your exams to your GYN because you never know what's going on. So, um, like I said, 1% of women do go through premature menopause, and I was in that 1%. So, um, but like I said, the physical symptoms are the the hot flashes, the night sweats, and you know, weight gain in some cases. Ugh, ugh, ugh. You know, so I don't want to describe it as the worst thing that can happen because I know that that scares some people, but it is uncomfortable. It really, really is uncomfortable. Um, to be somewhere and you're all of a sudden on fire and um, you got to get a fan, and if you don't have a fan, then you may pass out because all sorts of things are going on. So um, you'll get through it. We will get through it, but um, like I said, the hot flashes, the vaginal dryness, the loss of libido, those are some of the signs. Your period can definitely start messing around, and you can miss it. You can get it more than once a month, and you have to be extra careful because you know you can become pregnant because everything is so sporadic and unstable. You don't know when you know you're you're in that zone. So of course, pay attention. I always tell you guys, pay attention to your body because you know your body, you know what's normal, and you know what's off. So, some of the things that will trigger premature menopause, it could be genetics, and I don't know if the women in my family started early. I don't think that I ever paid attention. I do remember, what happened after 45 or so, how they would react, but I don't think I don't know that anybody but me and my, you know, immediate family went through premenopause. So it could be genetics, it could be an infection of some sort that can trigger it, it could be unhealthy habits, of course, your diet and different things like that. It could be an autoimmune disease. You could have lupus or, one of those type of autoimmune diseases that will trigger early menopause because your body is already going through chaos. If you know people with some of these autoimmune diseases, your body is already, going through shit. So that can trigger the the premature menopause. In most cases, like I said, it's 1%. In most cases, 45 is when it starts. And just because, it says 45, it could be 46, it could be 47, it could be 45 when you start having hot flashes, but you could be 47 when you start, skipping periods. And, you can go to 50 without having any symptoms. It's rare, it's very rare that you can go to that age. But, you know, there's no timetable. It's really just before it's for 45 and above that you should start paying attention. So, 1 million women are going through menopause right now. 1 million of us. That's why we're so damn angry, y'all. You walk down the street. You ever walk down the street and you may say good morning to a woman and she just like, gives it just look like fuck you. That's because she's one of the 1 million women going through menopause and she really don't have no time for your shit. We don't have time to talk to you. We're too busy sweating. We're too busy trying to figure out if we got a period or not. We're too busy, fanning. We don't have time. We don't have time. Like, call me later. I don't have time to talk. So, but that is really, really a good reason, that some women are so just tired and off and they don't want to talk. When you think about all of the things that a woman goes through internally, just internally on a daily basis, you'd be pissed off too. So, you know, don't hold it against them because their bodies are furnace right now. And so 1 million experience it every year. And then, as per the National Institute on Aging, y'all know I always give y'all Google facts. Um, there's no real knowledge about what triggers it and what menopause is. They have no idea, and so just like we discussed last week with the PCOS, like nobody ever knows what the fuck is going on. Like we have all of these things and like I share with you guys about the chronic fatigue syndrome. It took 6 months for them to say, oh, that's what it is. In the meantime, I'm just falling the fuck apart, and just completely miserable. But it's like we don't know what, causes it. We don't have exact symptoms. So they're saying that the National Institute for Aging is saying they don't know what definitely triggers menopause. They don't know, they don't know why. It just happens and we just have to suffer, and it's just not fair. It's just not fair. They never know. So, as with the PCOS, and I know that I keep referencing the PCOS, go listen to last week's episode because it really, really was informative. And, you know, you need to listen. But as with PCOS, the symptoms can be crossover. I mean, some of this shit crosses over more than Justin Timberlake. Y'all, how the hell do we know what we're going through? You know? And that's what brings me to the next thing. PCOS, premenopause, menopause all affect your mental health. Because like I said, you're miserable, you're tired, um, you could start having irritability, um, everything just pisses you off. You could have mood swings. You know, one minute everything is fine, and then the next minute you're just you just you're crying, or you're angry, or you just don't know how you're feeling, but you know that you're not feeling all that great. And so it's it's difficult to know whether the menopause or the premenopause or those things are triggering your depression, or if they're starting your depression. And it's just hard to tell. You know, you just again have to pay attention. Knowledge is everything. You know, read up. And I always tell everybody, and this is something that I started doing after my breakdown and taking all these medications. I write everything down. You know, so when I go to the doctor, I have the list of everything that's going on with me, so that I will be able to tell them stuff. And, you know, of course, I'm forgetful, so I have to write everything down. Um, but getting back to some of the symptoms, the crazy symptoms, and when I say crazy, I mean that they're not common symptoms. You can have the achy joints. You know, you can have the bloating. Your hair can start to fall out. Dizziness will happen more. Um, you, your tongue starts burning. Like, I hate to tell you guys these things because it's really awful. Um, your brittle fingernails, I have that. My fingernails used to always just grow so long, and they still do, but then they break at a certain point. Um, and so, you know, when you get like the aching joints, you may think that it's arthritis or an injury or of some sort, but it's not. It could be the menopause. You could start to retain water. Um, yeah, that's a bitch too. Um, you know, your estrogen, your hormone, all that shit is just flipping around, and you just don't know what to do. So, does menopause cause depression? Yes, it definitely can, and it, it's a fact. It's a fact. Millions of 1 million women can tell you that it does cause depression. Does it also fuck with the people that are already struggling with depression and mental illness? Hell yeah, it does. It intensifies it. And I'm telling you for myself that it is brutal. You know, when all of you have to deal with the normal um, changes in your body and your mind, and then they intensify the already um, just brutal mental illness and depression that you're going through. So the sad part is that yes, it can definitely start to affect those different things. And so, you know, when you have depression on one side and menopause on the other side, usually the common joint symptoms are the energy, like I said, the energy, the weight change, the concentration. Oh my God. It's just fucking horrible. You can't remember nothing. Um, and the sleep. Oh yes, the sleep. Um, insomnia rate, you know, starts to increase at this point. Um, you know, the heightened anxiety, everything, not everything, but, you know, things, you'll notice that things that didn't bother you before bother you now. The energy, like I said, um, it, all of these things can happen, but they're also common symptoms with depression. And again, it's hard to recognize it, but if you know, going out the gate, what can happen, then you know what to pay attention to and what to talk to your doctor about. And, you know, the falling estrogen levels and the progesterone levels, those trigger the mood swings. And you can't, like I said, you can't handle things that normally rolled off your back before. Um, the hormonal dips can set off major depressive episodes, and it might not even be long term. It could be, you could be bad for a week, a month, 6 months, but you're not going into years like some of us. Um, and it's just like I said, it's unknown. No one knows why it triggers it so severely. But, you know, of course, you know that when you start messing with the hormones and the progesterone levels and all of those fun things, you you are going to experience the changes and the drop. The same hormones that control your menstrual cycle also influence serotonin, and that's the feeling chemical that we produce. So if the hormone levels drop, then the serotonin levels also fall, and that would contribute to the irritability, the anxiety, and the sadness. And I'm just going to let y'all know that some of this stuff I have been, I have known for years, and some of it I have researched for you guys. So, um, I'm just not blowing smoke up your ass. These are, the actual things that are going on. So, you know, I don't know, from what I've read, from what I've talked about through the years, I don't know if there's any one thing that can fix it. There are so many things that can alleviate some of your pain and some of your symptoms, but I don't know if there's any one thing that can fix it. One of the main, things that you always hear is about the hormone replacement therapy, the HRT. And I used to hear about this all the time, and I never really thought about it. But it's used to try to restore the diminished hormone levels. It sort of tries to bring back the levels and relieve the symptoms that are already imbalanced. And there are different types of the hormone replacement therapy. You have implants, you have pills and tablets, you have vaginal rings and creams, and you have some sprays and gels. And I know that you go into the drugstore and different stores, and you will see some of the creams that they say help, are HRT related. Um, and you know, it, listen, for some people it works. Some people it's not working. It's a personalized treatment, so it's what works for me might not work for you. Um, and you just have to combine it with lifestyle changes and doctor's appointments and different things like that. People with the different types of cancers, like the breast cancer, ovarian, endometrius, they can't participate in HRT. um, People with blood clots, they can't um, have HRT treatments, and because it causes more craziness, you know. Um, so make sure that you talk to your doctor about, if this is something that's a suggestion. Make sure that it's something that you can live with, you can do, um, to help you, but safely. Because like I said, not everybody can take it. And so some of the I want to quickly tell you some of the trigger foods for menopause. And first on the list is my crack, which is coffee. I love coffee. I love coffee. And I know that how my body reacted at 21 drinking coffee and how it reacts now drinking coffee. I already know that. I know this is a problem, but It's something that I've been doing forever, and it's hard to stop. Spicy foods. Now, I don't eat spicy foods because they do affect my stomach, but spicy foods can trigger, you know, um, the menopausal symptoms and the mood swings and different things like that. You never think that's it. It could, but it does. Alcohol. Um, well, alcohol affects everything. You know, um, and of course, in excess, you know, alcohol is a problem. But yes, it does. The alcohol also intensifies the triggers. So pay attention to those things, guys. I mean, if we have to go to decaf, we can go to decaf. Some of the home remedies, the holistic remedies, and black cohosh is one of the ones that I've heard for years, and I do know that a lot of people say that it helps with the hot flashes. Ginseng, blackstrap molasses, vitamin E, flaxseed. I also do know a lot of people that said flaxseed helps. I actually have baked with flaxseed in the past couple of years because I have orders from vegans and vegetarians, so it is a good replacement. And vitamin E, I think vitamin E is good for everything, along with like vitamin D. Those are always helpful for you. But the black cohosh, if you are going through this right now, look into it because I know for a fact that I have spoken to so many people that said that it can help with at least with the hot flashes and the night sweats. And if it could help with that, then that's a big thing off your shoulder. So, what's next? you know, when it comes to the depression and the menopause and the crossover, SSRIs are usually the most common drugs that they're going to treat you with for hot flashes. Lexapro, Celexa, those are the things that the doctor may prescribe for you to help with your symptoms. Um, I can tell you that those medications have side effects, and the side effects are pretty shitty sometimes, so you just never know. You'll be sweating one minute, crying the next minute. You'll have dry mouth, the shakes, but your hormones and your hot flashes will be okay, but you'll be shaking in the corner and your mouth is dry. You can't even talk. You have to take the good with the bad. But those are the type of drugs that they will give you to help with some of the symptoms that you're going through, you know, to make sure that your menopause doesn't cross over into a full blown depressive episode and control your anxiety and control your mood swings. So those are the facts. Those are the good things, those are the bad things. I hope that you wrote some of the things down. I can tell you that for me personally, I don't think that anything has ever helped my hot flashes. I've never, since I started having them, they've never decreased at any time. And like I said, I've taken the Lexapro and in conjunction with other depression medications, and I don't remember that the hot flashes ever decreased for me. Like I told you guys, I have fans everywhere. Um, Now the natural things, the black cohosh and things, I've never tried those, so I can't tell you if those really work or not. And really, it's not because I've heard anything bad. It's just that I already take so much shit. Like just this evening, I have to take 5 pills in the evening just to go to bed. So when you start adding the vitamins to it and the painkillers and the different things like that, so that's the only reason why I have not really gotten into taking the natural remedies. So read about them, look them up. Um, and like I said, you may have to give up some stuff, give up the coffee, um, give up the McDonald's Coke, which is also my crack, have to stop having. Um, but those are the things. It's what it is a catch-22, because you have to give up things that make you feel better, um, but they're bad for you. So maybe you can reduce your intake. I know that one of my friends went from caffeinated to decaffeinated coffee just so she can have the taste of the coffee. I tried that. I'd rather go without nothing because I do not like decaf coffee. Um, if you want to reduce the spicy foods, maybe less um, cayenne pepper or whatever. And you want to hear the crazy shit? Cayenne pepper is supposed to be healthy and help with weight gain and different things like that. But the spice is bad for you, or it can trigger, hot flashes and menopausal episodes. So we can't get a break, y'all. We can't get a break. But just always, always, always talk to your doctor. If you get to your primary care doctor first, make sure that you have your list of symptoms so they can tell you if that's something that they can fix or you have to go to a GYN. And I will tell you, like I said last week, I had been going to GYNs and I had been going to my primary care physician, and nobody knew why my periods were so horrible. No one could figure out why, you know, I was bleeding so much and different things like that until I went to I consider him to be a specialized GYN, and he immediately, when I gave him my list of symptoms, he immediately knew that the PCOS was involved, and that then he would have to check for, cyst and different things like that. So don't take no for an answer, and just keep your list and keep fighting. Don't listen to what anybody says. You know your body. You know when it's off. You know when it's acting the fuck up. Don't listen to them. So I want to thank you for listening to me ramble today. Um, I know that these type of episodes might not be the most exciting, but I think that they're helpful because it shows you that there are so many different components to mental illness and mental health, and it comes from everywhere, and like I said, genetics can start it off, but situational can you can pick it up. Um, Environmental, you know, so there are so many things that feed into the mental health and the illness space that we have to share these things because you don't know until somebody tells you. And even if you don't understand anything that I'm saying right now, I should hope that you grabbed a code word here or there, take some notes, and then if you feel like you're struggling, then tell your doctor. Okay? So thank you again for listening. Thank you for all of your support. If you guys don't already do this, follow me everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm majorly active, I want to say, on Instagram and Twitter now. So if you ever want to reach out, visit me at divawithdepression.com. You can go there and you can start listening. You can read some of my blogs. You can, oh, I always tell you guys there are loads of resources on my website. So, you can go there and get some tips and get doctors' listings and different things like that. But please, please listen and share if you know someone that will benefit from any of my episodes. Please share. Um, Let me know what you think. I love feedback. I love to know, like I asked you in the beginning, what day is best for you or what time is best for you. Those things are important, and I want to honestly say that I did not know how important they were until recently when I started to branch out and talk to different people. But we do this for the people, and so your input counts. So I will always appreciate the feedback. Thank you, as always, to Illumination Media and Technology. Go follow them on all their socials too. Thank you guys. I want you to stay well. I want you to find a little bit of peace. Um, and also remember that you're a superhero. No matter what you do, you are a superhero. Thank you and stay safe and well. Bye.